Minister, I presume you would have to accept that the Green Paper on disability reform has been met with almost universal criticism and opposition from people with disabilities and campaigning organisations. There's a protest outside the Dáil today at 12. There's activists in the gallery now. It's time, Minister, to withdraw the proposal to introduce this tiered system similar to the Tories' work capability assessment.
Thank you, Deputy, for the question, and I welcome the people in the gallery. The Government has committed, as part of the Roadmap for Social Inclusion, to develop and consult on proposals to restructure long-term disability payments and to simplify the system. The consultation process has been ongoing since Minister Humphreys launched the Green Paper on disability reform in September. I would like to emphasise that the Green Paper is a consultation document. It is not a final reform design. It sets out one possible approach for the purpose of inviting discussion, informing debate and prompting suggestions. I am very mindful of our commitment under the UN Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities to consult closely with and actively involve disabled people and their representative groups in changes to policies and services that will impact them. The aim of the Green Paper is twofold. First, it seeks to better insulate disabled people who cannot work from poverty by providing for higher rates of payment. Second, it seeks to support and encourage a higher level of employment for people with disabilities by tailoring the provision of employment supports to suit a person's capabilities. The Green Paper aims to achieve this through its main proposal of a three-tiered personal support payment rather than the one-size-fits-all payment currently in place. I am aware that concerns have been expressed about the possible impact of the proposed approach on a person's entitlement to a disability payment or to the level of that payment. I want to make it clear that nobody will lose their entitlement to a disability payment arising from the Green Paper proposals, nor will they see that payment level reduced. In addition, engagement with public employment services will be on a voluntary basis. I can also assure the Deputy that all feedback on the Green Paper proposals will be considered in any future reforms of the system. That is the purpose of the consultation process. My officials have held a stakeholder event and 4 public consultation events over the past 2 months. We do want to hear from as many disabled people and their representatives as possible, and accordingly we have extended the closing date for the consultation until the 15th of March. And this was in response to a number of requests for an extension to allow individuals, disabled persons organisations and disability groups time to compose their submission. Finally, we are open to all ideas and suggestions, and I do encourage everybody with an interest in improving the lives of people with disabilities to engage in the consultation process.
If the government was serious about consultation, serious about listening to people, they would have listened to people and they would be withdrawing this paper. Nothing about us without us is the slogan of the disability rights movement. So let's hear what people with disabilities are saying. They're saying that the proposed work capacity assessments are dehumanising and degrading, that they objectify disabled people and blame them for seeking welfare benefits. They say that the Green Paper constitutes degrading and humiliating treatment under the UN Convention on the Rights of People with Disabilities, that it breaches disabled people's human rights. They say that it will set disabled people against each other by discriminating between those seen as deserving of full benefits rights and those not. They say that it is a value judgment, that it blames disabled people for seeking welfare benefits. They say that it sends out a message to the general public that disabled people are falsifying the nature and extent of their impairment or illness, and that it sets up public resentment towards those disabled people who claim welfare benefits. And they point out that it will do nothing to tackle the discrimination, societal ableism, oppression and prejudice from employers that disabled people experience every day of their lives.
Thank you, Deputy. And we need to listen to those issues that you've raised. I would urge individuals and groups to view this as an opportunity to detail and express the barriers that they face in society that prevent them from participating at an equal level. And there are financial barriers, there are physical barriers in workplaces, there are physical barriers in public infrastructure. And crucially as well, as you refer to, there are barriers of preconceptions and prejudices among employers as well. And these are all things I think that the Green Paper will give us an opportunity to talk about now, and I think most importantly to come up with solutions with as well. So, Deputy, The Green Paper, I suppose, we're talking about a Green Paper here. We're not talking about a piece of legislation. And that's the idea, that we have the debate first, and we need to listen carefully, I suppose, is my point.
I wonder whether the Minister has seen Ken Loach's fine film, I, Daniel Blake, which reveals in horrifying detail the impact of such a tiered system. They call it a work capability assessment. It's called in the Green Paper work capacity assessment, but it's effectively the same thing. The Taoiseach, when I asked him about it, he said it was a good film, but it was one-sided. In other words, maybe some of these people actually in reality are trying to scam the system. You've said that Intrio officials will carry out the work capacity assessments and engagement with public employment services will be voluntary. But if you were listening to disabled people, you will know how negative their experiences with Intrio has been in the past. They're proposing to force people to jump through more hoops for Intrio into the future. What does it mean to say that it will be voluntary engagement, where Intrio will have the power to categorise people into tiers and people will be left with little power to challenge this? You say, don't worry, no one's payments will be cut. That might be the case now under this government, but if you establish this tiered system, you create the basis in the future to cut people's payments, as happened in Britain.
Minister, to conclude.
Deputy, and I do think as a department we've got a responsibility to listen to and take on board people's experiences with Intrio. I know good work is done, but you know, as I said, the voices of people with disabilities are key in this regard. Deputy, I thought you might ask me that question about that film. I haven't seen that film. My understanding is it is about the UK context, and I can understand from what I've heard about it why people might be fearful. This is Ireland. We do things differently here, I believe, notwithstanding that people are concerned about it. And I've certainly learned while working in the department that there is an openness to listening to stakeholders, and particularly in the area of disability, I think there is an open-mindedness to doing things differently as well. So look, I suppose I would see this as an opportunity for people to express the concerns that they have. It is a Green Paper. The idea is it is a consultation document. It's not nailed down in stone or written in stone at the moment.